Today, I'm getting highlights, or as the internet apparently sometimes refers to them as, MANLIGHTS, because I'm a boy, apparently. I've had long hair for like 8 years now, and there have been so many times throughout the last 8 years that I've thought about just chopping it all off and going real short again, because it's so much faster to wash and dry. You spend so much less money on shampoo and conditioner. And I had this idea that before I chop it off, I'm gonna go fully blonde just to try it out and see how it goes. And then when it starts to grow out, I'll just chop it all off and then have short brown hair again. But then I cut my hair from like here to here, and I'm actually really liking it a bit shorter now, and I don't see myself cutting it at any point in the future. And it wasn't until a couple of months ago that the idea of highlights even occurred to me, because I've always thought, if I go blonde, my facial hair is not gonna match my head hair, and that's gonna look kind of stupid. I feel like maybe highlights are a better idea because my actual hair color, which matches my beard, is still going to be in there, right? I actually have very little idea what I'm talking about. This is an entirely new experience for me. I haven't dyed my hair in like 10 years, and when I did, my hair was short. It was a packet job. It was not good. But anyway, let's see how it goes. All right, reveal time. Here it is. The result. What do you reckon? It's a bit fluffy at the moment, but hopefully it will chill out. Yeah, this is it. This is Guylights. And here's what it looks like 6 weeks later, now that I've given it a bit of a chance to recover from the trauma of being bleached. So when I first had it done, I thought it looked a bit more ashy than what I had in mind, but my friend said to me that it will probably naturally go a bit more yellow/golden over time. And I think that it did, or maybe I just got used to the color, but either way, I'm really happy with it now. I think it looks particularly good with green, and I have a lot of green in my wardrobe, so win-win. Reactions from my friends and family have been mixed. It's quite funny because most of them were like, oh my God, your hair, I love it. It looks so good. But then some of them just kind of looked at me, they were like, what do you think? Do you like it? Which to me says they probably don't like it, but that doesn't matter because the answer to their question is yes, I do like it. So I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad I tried something new. There's only a couple reasons why I wouldn't do this again in the future. The first one is the cost. It was a little over $200 to get this done, and even if I only did this twice a year, as my hairdresser said I probably only need to, that's still $300 a year that I could be spending on anything else. So I need to decide if it's really worth that money to get this hair. You know, I could just have my natural hair. I could spend that $300 on anything. The other thing is, it's bleach. So I don't think my hair liked that very much, which isn't super surprising. I feel as though my hair has been a bit frizzier and drier since I've had it done. And to be honest, a big part of that could just be that I don't have the right hair product, and that would probably help a lot. But then it goes back to money, and it's like, am I going to have to spend more money on products for color-treated hair when I don't have to do that? If you want a bit of an overview, if you've never had highlights before, essentially when I went in there, she was like, what do you want it to look like? So I showed her these reference pics. These are the best things that I could find online, which I thought kind of looked good. But again, I don't know. I was like, this is kind of the idea, but I don't really know. I'm looking for some guidance because like, I have no bloody idea. And she was like, yeah, this is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It's more like a balayage that you're looking for than like a full like roots to tip. And I was like, yeah. I said to her that I'd like it to look like it's not obviously fake. Like there's some naturally lighter bits in my hair. Let's make them even lighter sort of thing. So she said the idea is it's sun-kissed. I also think it just works well with my natural colors because I've got quite light eyebrows. Like there's quite a few blonde hairs in there already. I didn't want head hair that looked too different from my facial hair. So I feel like this has worked quite well. Essentially, they sit you down in the chair and then they get bits of foil, which is why it's also called foils apparently. And then in chunks, they kind of use this comb thing to separate out half your hair and then push the other half up. And then they get the leftover hair, put it on some foil and then paint over bleach and then wrap that up. And then they do that all over your head. And then you sit for like an hour. So luckily I brought my headphones, and then they take you to the basin and then they wash your hair out. They probably put some toner in there, condition it, give you a nice haircut. And when I was sitting there in the chair, my hair was all wet. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be like a very subtle blonde. I thought that it would probably lighten a bit when it dried, but then before I left, she's like, I'm just gonna dry this part of your hair. And she like dried like this area around about here. And I was like, oh wow. And she was like, yeah, I just wanted to show you that when it's dry, it's gonna be a lot lighter. And then you have highlighted hair. She also said this is really good because it's low maintenance. She's like, you probably only have to do it like once or twice a year if you want, because it doesn't really matter if it starts growing out because it's the balayage anyway, I guess. So yeah, I was like, you know what? That's great because I'm a low maintenance boy. Like, I do not put a lot of effort in, if you can't tell. So that's it. That is how one gets man lights, guy lights, whatever. These highlights for dudes. Here it is. See you next time.